So I remember back in the late 40s and 50s when I was on my grandparents' farm, and you'd see these people 40 and 50 years old taking 60-pound bales of hay, 30 to 60-pound bales of hay, and throwing up into a loft this high, like 11, 12 feet, throwing them up there. People are so weak now, everything's a forklift. They can barely lift, a 50-pound bale of hay to their chest. They certainly can't throw it up that high. So you have to look at the condition of the human body. It is frightful, and they want it that way. They want you weak. They want you going to doctors. Who owns the greatest amount of stock in pharmaceuticals besides the King and Queen of England, the Rockefellers, and the Rothschilds?
Doctors.
And government agents. Senators, congressmen. Because that's the greatest profit, is in drugs.
They know about it before the bills are passed.
Oh, absolutely, completely. And they'll come down on a drug that's getting too much bad press because it's hurting too many people, and then they'll look like they're defending you when they've already made a fortune on the drug. So it's all very corrupt, and it's getting more corrupt unless we stop and make them face the music. And that's what I'm doing with my farmers. And it's easier in that environment because I can say, hey, we've got all these sick people, people with allergies. They can't have ammonia or chlorine in their food, and that's what these health departments require. Everything be washed with chlorine or ammonia so bad that when you go into a meat market, even if it's Whole Foods, the amount of ammonia and chlorine in the air gives me a headache. And that's the way it is everywhere now, in all the markets, everywhere. Well, we can't handle that toxicity. I can't, and a lot of other people can't. So we choose to have food that is not prepared according to the bacterial phobes, which run the government and the health departments. So we can't have that food without symptoms. So we say, no way are we going to have that. We create our own private farms, and we grow foods the way we need them. We prepare them the way we need them. And even in the dairy laws, you have to have toxic iodine to wash the teats. Do you know how much iodine gets into the body and how damaging iodine is when it's in rock form like that, in liquid? It's terrible. It will shorten the cow's life by about 5%, 5 to 7%. If it's wiped every time with these, what they do is wipe the teat and then put this stopper on it, so the teat goes in and gets coated with iodine. It sits on there for about 10, 15 minutes, and then they come back and wipe. So it gets into the milk, it gets into the cow, and it does thyroid damage and all kinds of different things to that cow. And because it's in the milk, it affects the people who drink it. So my farmers use raw apple cider vinegar to clean the teats, diluted. And that'll clean the heavy smell and taste of animal hide, which will get into milk if you don't clean the teats. But we're not going to do it with a poison. Now, why did the government choose to use a poison? To make people sick and weak. It's the only object it can be. It's racketeering. There can be no other choice. It's like, why did they use very poisonous, toxic chemicals to clean gold when you can do it with water? Because Monsanto has the product to clean. They want them to use that product, and also it contaminates things over a long period of time. It contaminates the wells, contaminates the groundwater, it contaminates the soil, everything. Why would they choose to do that when they know that gold can be just washed with water at certain temperatures? You have to look at all of these things and say, wait a minute, there's no reason for you to do that when there is alternatives. There's safe alternatives. So if you're choosing to do that, You're helping somebody make money who makes a chemical, and you're causing harm to the people. And what do you have most of your investments in? What are your stocks in? When you find out they're pharmaceuticals, your answer is right there. We probably have 5 or 6 centers out of 535 who don't have investments in the pharmaceutical industry. Think about that.